5.
Kings 88.5 FM.
We got the flavor.
From the nation's capital, Monrovia. Good morning and welcome to King's Newsroom, a 45 minutes news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of the world. Today is Thursday, February 26, 2026, and I'm Newton Tokwa presenting stories we're following this morning. Over 12,000 students graduated from the University of Liberia, doing 105th graduation on Wednesday. UU President Dr. Lily Mapayan urges graduates to use acquired education and impact national development drive. Former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf calls for incorporation of anti-corruption education into primary and secondary school curricula to promote public awareness and strengthen national efforts in combating corruption. The Congress for Democratic Change National Executive Committee suspends United States branch interim leadership for gross insubordination, violation of party protocols, and detrimental actions, says the Parallel Convention in Minnesota will be rendered illegal. Away from Liberia, Zimbabwe has rejected a U.S. health deal that would have provided $367 million in funding over 5 years because of Washington's demand for sensitive data. The UN Security Council has announced new sanctions for 4 leaders of Sudan's paramilitary rapid support forces over atrocities committed in the western Sudan city of El Fasher. These plus the news bulletin, our international developments are all packaged. We are taking a very short break to be right back. Thanks for rejoining, and let's now have the news bulletin. The University of Liberia has graduated over 12,000 students during its 105th graduation on Wednesday. Speaking during the ceremony, UU President Dr. Lily Mapayan called on graduates to demonstrate excellence in their respective disciplines to reflect the university's reputation and contribute meaningfully to the national development. She emphasized the critical role of education in nation building. Dr. Mapayan further encouraged the honor graduates to apply knowledge and skills acquired throughout their academic sojourn to address societal challenges and drive positive changes across Liberia and beyond. Meanwhile, reflecting on the students' academic journey, Dr. Mapayan highlighted the numerous internal and external challenges they face, noting that their successful completion of studies stands as a testament to their resilience, dedication, and commitment to higher education. She described the graduates as precious stones whose talents and potential will illuminate Liberia and contribute to global progress. Dr. Mapayan also used the occasion to commend the faculty and administrative staff of the university for their unwavering commitment to academic excellence and institutional growth. She further noted that the successful hosting of the 105th commencement ceremony marks a significant milestone as it represents the first graduation held under her leadership as president of the university. Former Liberian President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf has called on educational stakeholders to urgently incorporate anti-corruption education into primary and secondary school curricula across the country. She described the initiative as a means of broadening students' understanding of the effects and consequences of corruption, particularly its impact on governance and national development. The former Liberian president reiterated her long-standing position on corruption, indicating that corruption remains a major challenge to the Liberian society, a concern she previously described as the country's public enemy number one during her administration. She emphasized the integration of anti-corruption education in the school program will enhance public awareness and strengthen national efforts to combat corruption. Madam Sirleaf noted that educating students about the consequences of corruption from an early age will help cultivate a generation committed to transparency, accountability, and national development. She further underscored that while combating corruption requires the collective effort of all citizens, she emphasized that it remains the government's primary responsibility to create a level playing field that encourages inclusiveness and participation. The former president made the remarks during the Tuesday edition of the program Changing Minds, Changing Attitudes on ELBC Radio. The Congress for Democratic Change National Executive Committee has announced the suspension of its United States branch interim leadership due to gross insubordination, violation of party protocols, and actions deemed detrimental to the party's unity. A resolution signed by CDC Acting Global Chairman Jangat Kool disclosed that the decision was reached during an emergency NEC section held on February 22, 2026, at the party's temporary national headquarters in Singapore. Those suspended with immediate effect include Yayaha Talata Sharif, CDC USA that interim chairman whose earlier suspension was reaffirmed, Donor Jiple Todi, acting chairman, and several others senior officials of the branch. CDC NEC also announced the suspension of 2 chapter leaders in Minnesota and Iowa due to their alleged involvement in actions that undermine the party's authority. According to the party press statement issued Tuesday, all suspended officials have been referred to the party's National Grievance and Ethics Committee for further investigation with possible disciplinary action expected to be taken. The statement further disclosed that the NEC has vested all administrative, financial, and operational authority to CDC US aid in the 2026 National Convention Committee, chaired by Reverend Solomon Moen. Accordingly, the committee is now recognized as the only legitimate body authorized to coordinate activities and organize upcoming CDC USA National Convention scheduled for June 2026 in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania. At the same time, the executive committee of the party have declared any parallel convention, including the reported gathering being organized in Minnesota, as illegal null and void, stating the controversy stems from what the NEC described as a prolonged administrative impasse within the CDC USA. According to the resolution, the interim leadership allegedly refused to submit an agreed electoral roadmap, declined to attend NEC meetings, and challenged the authority of the party's highest decision-making body outside of National Congress. The NEC argued that its actions are grounded in provisions of the party's constitution, which grant its supervisory authority over all national and international branches. The party has cautioned members and supporters in the diaspora against conducting business or financial transactions with the suspended officials under the guise of representing the CDC. The Liberia National Police Nimba County Detachment has forwarded to court Mary Giat, a 61-year-old woman accused of killing her 3 grandchildren in Menla Town, Nimba County. The incident, which reportedly occurred on Sunday, February 22, 2026, has triggered widespread public outrage, with several residents of the community, including the victim's mother, attributing the act to alleged witchcraft practices. In a statement issued on Wednesday, the NMP disclosed that the suspect admitted to causing the deaths of the 3 minors following a police investigation into the matter. According to the statement, the accused reported claimed that her actions were influenced by a demonic spirit. The police further assured the public that the matter is being handled with utmost seriousness and that justice will be pursued in accordance with the laws of the country. In another development, the Liberia National Police has launched an investigation into the alleged attempted rape involving one of its officers assigned to the Grand Bassa County Police Detachment. According to the LMP, the incident was formally reported on Tuesday, February 24th, through its Professional Standards Department and the Women and Children Protection Section at the Grand Bassa County Detachment. Speaking Wednesday at the LMP headquarters, Police spokesperson Sam Collins disclosed that the investigation is being conducted in line with established laws, regulations, and internal accountability standards. He noted that the accused officer, whose identity is being withheld, is currently undergoing internal administrative review pending the outcome of the investigation. Collins emphasized that as the investigation remains ongoing, the officer is presumed innocent until proven guilty by a competent court of jurisdiction. The police spokesperson reaffirmed the LMP's zero tolerance toward misconduct, particularly in cases involving sexual and gender-based violence, abuse of authority, and violations of human rights. He maintained that any officer found guilty of criminal, unethical, or SGBV-related conduct will face the full weight of the law, in addition to internal disciplinary actions. Former Monserrate County District 13 Representative candidate Ayuba Suare has formally announced his membership in the Congress for Democratic Change. Making the disclosure Wednesday to Kings FM, Suare noted that his decision was followed by an official communication address to CDC Secretary General Jefferson Koji, declaring his intention to join the former ruling party. According to him, the move followed careful consideration and reflects his long-standing commitment to national development, democratic governance, and preservation of public trust, and further praised the CDC for what he described as its history as a people-centered political institution, emphasizing that it operates as a party of the people, by the people, and for the people. Suare also pledged his full commitment to collaborating with federal partisans in support to intensify the re-election bid of former President George Weah. He stressed the importance of CDC return to power in 2029, vowing to spearhead extensive recruitment efforts aimed at strengthening the party's numerical base ahead of the elections. The former Monserrate County District 13 Representative candidate also dismissed claims by individuals believed to be supporters of the ruling Unity Party regarding efforts to prevent the Weah victory in 2029, describing such assertions as scare tactics. He maintained that no opposition efforts from the ruling party establishment would hinder the former president's chances of securing victory in the upcoming presidential elections. The Grand Ochuwin Party has officially written the National Elections Commission requesting to hold its 37th National Convention and the elections of new corps or officers in Buchanan Grand Bassa County beginning April 30 of this year. TWP's political leader, Eric Olson, disclosed that the decision to write a letter to the NEC for a new date for the party national convention for the abortive gathering because of confusion regarding the delegates. Addressing a press conference held in Monrovia, Olson added that the issues that aborted the February 14 national conference had been resolved. According to him, Reginald Gurish has also been informed of the development unfolding regarding the selection of delegates in order to hold a peaceful national convention. The TWP political leader expressed the hope that the National Convention Committee will be given the free will to conduct the convention and hold the elections for the new corps of officers. Founded in 1969 in Clay, Ashland, the Chuwin Party was the oldest political party in Liberia and Africa, representing the interests of dark-skinned Americo-Liberian settlers. The TWP first came to power with the election of Edward James Raw in 1969, who became president in 1970, and the party remained in power until April 1980 when it was dissolved, following a violent military coup led by Master Sergeant Samuel Doe, which brought an end to Americo-Liberian political dominance. About 60 students from Islamic schools across the country are expected to converge for the 9th edition of the Liberian National Quranic Competition in Monrovia. The board member of the Liberian National Quranic Competition, Alpha Jallo, disclosed that the first place winner will be awarded $1,500 United States dollars. Speaking at a press conference held in Monrovia Wednesday, Jallo explained that the competition also has other prizes, including scholarships and other cash awards, and added that the competition is intended to encourage excellence among students, promote high standards of education and professionalism among the students. According to him, him the competition, which begins this Friday, will last for 3 days and will bring prominent Islamic scholars and Muslims to the opening and closing ceremonies. And Miami County Superintendent O.J. Murray has delivered his monthly performance report outlining progress and challenges encountered since assuming office. In his address, Superintendent Murray stated that his administration has made notable strides in key sectors, including education, healthcare, and the promotion of peace and stability across the country. It emphasized that within his first 6 months in office, efforts have been made to strengthen service delivery and improving living conditions of residents. The Miami County Superintendent has at the same time that's acknowledged that his leadership continues to face significant challenges, highlighting the issue of reconciliation, and explained that many residents are at odds with one another, a situation described as deeply concerning and difficult to manage. The superintendent, however, reaffirmed his commitment to fostering unity and ensuring continued progress for the people of Miami County. What if you just joined us? A reminder you listening to King's News, Run the 45 minutes news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and the rest afterward. Today is Thursday, February 26, 2026, and I'm Newton Tokwa presenting stories we're following this morning. Over 12,000 students graduated from the University of Liberia during 105th graduation on Wednesday. UL President Dr. Lily Mapayan urges graduates to use their acquired education and impact national development drive. Former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf calls for the incorporation of anti-corruption education into primary and secondary school curricula to promote public awareness and strengthen national efforts in combating corruption. The Congress for Democratic Change National Executive Committee suspends United States branch interim leadership for gross insubordination, violation of party protocols, and detrimental actions, says the Parallel Convention in Minnesota will be rendered illegal. Away from Liberia, Zimbabwe has rejected a U.S. health deal that would have provided $367 million funding over 5 years because of Washington's demand for sensitive data. The UN Security Council has announced new sanctions for 4 leaders of Sudan's paramilitary rapid support forces over atrocities committed in the western Sudanese city of El Fasher. These are stories we're following here this morning on King's Newsroom. We are taking a very short break. When we come back, we'll bring you the voices of the news makers. Thanks for rejoining. On this development now, the University of Liberia has graduated over 12,000 students during the 105th graduation on Wednesday. Speaking during the ceremony, UL President Dr. Lily Mapayan called on graduates to demonstrate excellence in their respective disciplines to reflect the university's reputation and contribute meaningfully to the national development. She emphasized the critical role of education in nation building. Dr. Mapayan further encouraged the honor graduates to apply knowledge and skills acquired during their academic journey to address societal challenges and drive positive changes across Liberia and beyond.
All 1,255 of you are my diamonds. When I arrived at UL just over inaugurations, that each of them enrich in gems. That's about you. I talked about how education would polish and refine those gems. Now, here we are at the end of your academic journey, and you have become shining diamonds. Diamonds, they say, are forged from 3 essential forces: pressure, heat, and time. They start out as pure carbon deep beneath the earth. Over time, subjected to intense heat and intense pressure, their structure changes from one form to another, and they become the hardest known material on earth. Unbreakable, brilliant, of great worth. I've watched you. You've experienced pressure, the pressure of grades, the pressure of completing research, financial pressures, family pressures, work pressures, health scares, the pressure of no data, the pressure of no transportation, and even other kinds of pressures, and you know what they are. You've also experienced heat, the heat of deadlines, the heat of class disruptions, the heat of the student handbook, the heat of graduation clearance, and even the literal heat of the Liberian sun, too little air cool in our classroom. And you've spent time, some of you a long time, getting your education at UL, long enough for you to finally become diamonds. Diamonds, I am proud of you. I am in admiration of you. You are the first to graduate on my watch, and that makes you precious to me. You are special people at a special time, my precious class of triumph. Triumphs you have. The road has been rough, and the journey has been challenging. But through the unique grace and mercy of the Almighty God, you have made it as students at the University of Liberia. And like the national anthem says, you have over all prevailed. Let me encourage all 1,255 of you as you go out today to brilliantly shine and represent your alma mater to the fullest and best of your ability. We who have formed you are proud to send you out in your respective field with the recognition and respect attached to your UL degree. You in the wider Liberian society and the world, and may you always be that shining light.
She's University of Liberia President Dr. Lily Mapayonde speaking. Former Liberian President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf has called on educational stakeholders to urgently incorporate anti-corruption education into primary and secondary school curricula across the country. She described the initiative as means of broadening students' understanding of the effects and consequences of corruption, particularly its impact on governance and national development. The former Liberian leader reiterated her long-standing position on corruption, indicating that corruption remains a major challenge to the Liberian society, a concern she previously described as the country's public enemy number one during her administration. She emphasized that integrating anti-corruption education in the school programs will enhance public awareness and strengthen national efforts to combat corruption.
You also have to start teaching in the schools. You have to talk in all the different community meetings. You have to tell people the consequences of corruption, why our country is not developed, why people will take money from Liberia to do other things, to buy homes abroad and whatnot, and use the Liberian people, the money that they pay is something that we have to keep fighting it at all levels, and hope that everybody feel that they have a responsibility if they want this country to be in the shape and at the stage of development that they all call for and that they all want to see.
Former Liberian President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, they're speaking. Makibi County Superintendent O.J. Murray has delivered his monthly performance report outlining progress and challenges encountered since assuming office. In his address, Superintendent Murray stated that his administration has made notable strides in key sectors, including education, healthcare, and the promotion of peace and stability across the country.
We'll be highlighting on our report today that we just started, where we came from, what we took over, and what we have done after we took over. What are the challenges that we inherited, and what are the challenges that we still have as a country for us to face together? And what is the roadmap of progress of things that we think doing it together, we could take Makibi to another level. So the week will be highlighting issues in education, health, infrastructure, peace, and conflict resolution, sports, youth engagement, security, agriculture, and we'll highlight issue on the county service center, and we'll give you a roadmap on the issues that we want you to know as our focus. Fellow Magibians, we want to begin with the education. When we took over, we saw the construction of a model school that is here in Francis Louis Farm. We interacted with the Ministry of Education branch here, and with consolidated efforts, we have come to let you know that the school has been completed and is prepared to be dedicated.
The Magibi County Superintendent has at the same time acknowledged that his leadership continues to face significant challenges, highlighting the issue of reconciliation, and explained that many residents are at odds with one another, a situation he described as deeply concerning and difficult to manage.
One of the greatest challenges we have, and we keep experiencing, is a challenge to reconcile Magibi County. Magibi County is a county that is administratively and politically centralized. The challenges we list here, we say reconciliation is cutting off in Magibi County. The stakeholders in Magibi County, former lawmakers and current lawmakers, they are not teaming up. Former superintendent and current superintendent, they are not teaming up. Former mayor, current mayor, they are not teaming up. Former leaders and current leaders are not teaming up. Citizens against citizens, youth against youth, adults against adults. What is the problem? Why are we fighting when we all say Magibi is our goal? We believe the deficiency now is because of the lack of unity and reconciliation among us. The toxic politics that just ended, it caused a massive division in our midst, where you have sedition, you have UPS, you have the other group of LP, but at the end of the day, one party won. Now it is now time that we push the Magibi agenda above any personality agenda.
He's Magibi County Superintendent Ojit Morris there speaking. Calabar National Police has launched an investigation into an alleged attempted rape involving one of its officers assigned to the Grand Bassa County Police Detachment. According to the LMP release, the incident was formally reported on Tuesday, February 24th, through its Professional Standard Department and the Women and Children Protection Section at the Grand Bassa County Detachment. Speaking Wednesday at the LMP headquarters, police spokesperson Sam Collins described the investigation as being conducted in line with established laws, regulations, and internal accountability standards, and noted that the accused officer, whose identity is being withheld, is currently undergoing internal administrative review pending the outcome of the investigation.
The Liberia National Police confirms that it is investigating an allegation of attempted rape involving an officer assigned to the Grand Bassa County Police Detachment. The allegation was formally reported on Tuesday, February 24, 2026, through the Professional Standards Department and the Women and Children Protection Section at the Grand Bassa County Police Detachment. Upon receipt of the complaint, the Liberia National Police immediately initiated both administrative and criminal investigative procedures in accordance with established laws, regulations, and internal accountability standards. The officer concerned is currently subject to internal administrative review pending the outcome of the investigation. A preliminary investigation is underway to determine the facts and circumstances surrounding the allegation. The identity of the complainant is being withheld in keeping with legal and victim protection standards. The Liberia National Police emphasizes that the allegation remains under investigation and that the officer is presumed innocent unless and until proven otherwise by a court of competent jurisdiction. The NP maintains a zero-tolerance policy towards misconduct, particularly the matters involving sexual and gender-based violence, abuse of authority, or violation of human rights. Any officer seen to have engaged in criminal, unethical, or STDV-related conduct will face the full weight of the law in addition to internal disciplinary measures. The Liberia National Police assures the public that this matter is being handled impartially, professionally, and without interference. Members of the public are encouraged to remain calm and allow the investigative process to proceed. Further updates will be provided as appropriate in accordance with the law.
Peace Police spokesperson Sam Collins there speaking. Well, if you just joining us with the time 1/2 past, a reminder you're listening to King's News Brother 45 minutes news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and the rest afterwards. Stories we're following this morning. Over 12,000 students graduated from the University of Liberia during 105th graduation on Wednesday. UF President Dr. Lily Mapayan urges graduates to use their acquired education and impact national development drive. Former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf calls for incorporation of anti-corruption education into primary and secondary school curricula to promote public awareness and strengthen national efforts in combating corruption. The Congress for Democratic Change National Executive Committee suspends United States branch interim leadership for gross insubordination, violation of party protocols, and detrimental actions, says any parallel convention in Minnesota will be rendered illegal. Away from Liberia, Zimbabwe has rejected a U.S. health deal that was provided $367 million funding over 5 years because of Washington's demand for sensitive data. UN Security Council has announced new sanctions for 4 leaders of Sudan's paramilitary rapid support forces over atrocities committed in the western Sudanese city of El Fasher. These are stories we're following here this morning on King's News Broom. We are taking another short break. When we come back, we continue with more voices on the program. Thanks for rejoining us and welcome back. On this development, now the Montserrat County District 13 representative candidate Ayuba Sware has formally announced his membership in the Congress for Democratic Change, remarking at the making the disclosure Wednesday to King's FM. Sware noted that his decision to follow was followed by an official communication address to CDC Secretary General Jefferson Koji, declaring his intention to join the former ruling party. According to him, the move followed careful consideration and reflects his long-standing commitment to national development, democratic governance, and the preservation of public trust, and further praised the CDC for what he described as its history as the people-centered political institution, emphasizing that it operates as a party of the people, by the people, and for the people.
So as you saw on my social media post, what I posted was not just an announcement, it was a formal communication written, and that communication has been sent to the Secretary General of the party. And I can tell you I've received calls from 2 important party executives. I'm going to reach out to every person that I know who have not been a part of the CDC to give them reasons why they must come to the CDC. And I'm going to work along with the party executive to ensure that we reach to stakeholders within my community, within my constituents. To ensure we talk to them names that will add more weight to the Congress for Democratic Change. These are things we intend to do. Okay, and we are also intending to work with the party in other directions that might not be discussed, on the media. Some of those things will be decided by the party executive, but yes, we are going to work with them in every form and manner possible. Opinions are like noses, and everyone has one. That's their opinion. Is that the fight? No. Do they have the authority to decide who becomes president? No. Are they the only eligible voters in Liberia? No. These are scary tactics. These are, tactics are used to weaken seditions. But hey, we are going to ensure.
He's former Montserrat County District 13 representative candidate Ayuba Sware speaking. The Grand Ocho Party has officially written the National Elections Commission requesting to hold its 37th National Convention and the elections of new corps or officers in Buchanan Grand Bassa County beginning April 30 of this year. TWP's political leader Eric Olson disclosed that the decision to write a letter to the NEC for a new date for the party's national convention followed the abruptive gathering because of confusion regarding the delegates. Addressing a press conference held in Monrovia, Olson added that issues of delegates has been resolved and the election is scheduled to be held in Grand Bassa County.
We have solicited some professionals to join us. We will be reaching to Mr. Goodrich so that we can schedule the completion of our 37th annual convention. We rating NEC to let her know what happened at Buchanan, and we asked for them to endorse a date for April 30th to be our final date to complete our 37th annual convention. So that's why I thought it wise to and let everyone know that irrespective of what you see happening, True We Party will continue to be a beacon of hope, will continue to lead a political life that will show respect for human rights, respect for other opinions, democracy, and the rule of law, because we've come a long way when it comes to fighting. From 1979 and even beyond, we've been fighting. So we're not strange to it. However, True We Party has to be the one that brings us together. No matter where you're from, no matter your political affiliation, your religious affiliation, your ethnic background, you can always and you are always welcome to the True We Party, because we want to create a nation where the only way we can achieve higher heights is by ensuring that there is the total involvement of all of our citizens.
True We Party political leader Eric Olson speaking. About 60 students from Islamic schools across the country are expected to converge for the 9th edition of the Liberian National Quranic Competition in Monrovia. The board member of the National Quranic Competition, Alpha Jallo, disclosed that the first place winner will be awarded $1,500 United States dollars. Speaking at a press conference held in Monrovia Wednesday, Jallo explained that the competition also has other prizes, including scholarships and other cash awards.
The United Alma of Liberia is proud to announce the 9th edition of the National Quranic Competition, scheduled to take place from February 27 to March 1, 2026. The National Quranic Competition underwent a preliminary competition with 134 students registered, and 130 successfully took part. 60 students qualified based on merit in all 5 categories. This premier event served as a platform for inspiration, faith, and youth empowerment, celebrating the dedication of young scholars from across the country. The 3-day event will be hosted in 2 primary locations in Monrovia, Day 1 and Day 3, Friday, February 27 and Saturday, February 28. The competition commences with an opening ceremony and preliminary rounds at the 17th Street Mosque. Day 3, Sunday, March 1. The grand final and closing ceremony will be held at the Executive Pavilion, Royal Asmore and Randolph Street, where the winners will be crowned. This year's edition marks a significant expansion, featuring 60 students from 6 counties. Participants will compete in 5 categories from the Holy Quran. Categories include Full Quran, 20 Juzu, 15 Juzu, 10 Juzu, and 5 Juzu. Beyond the spiritual awards, the competition offers substantial incentives to participants and support educational journey to the participants. A cash prize of $1,500 USD will be awarded to the winner. Additional prizes include educational scholarships, academic materials, recognition awards, and certificates. This competition is about more than prizes. It is about nurturing characters, strengthening faith, and motivating the next generation to embody the values of the Holy Quran.
Alpha Jallo is a board member of the National Quranic Competition of Liberia, speaking. Away from Liberia, Zimbabwe has rejected a U.S. health deal that would have provided $367 million in funding over 5 years because of Washington's demand for sensitive data. The decision has come to light after the government memo from December was leaked, revealing that President Emerson Mnangagwa felt the deal was lopsided. The government spokesperson has since explained that the U.S. was demanding access to biological samples for research and commercial gain, but said it was not willing to share the benefits for future vaccines and treatments. The UN Security Council has announced new sanctions for 4 leaders of Sudan's paramilitary rapid support forces over atrocities committed in the western Sudanese city of El Fasher. The Deputy Commander Abdul Rahim Dangalo and Brigadier General Al-Fatah Abdullah Idris, more commonly known as Abdul Lulu, who became known as the Butcher of El Fasher, are among those prescribed. The others are RSF Deputy Commander Jido Habdan Ahmed and Field Commander Tijani Ibrahim. The RSF capture of the city in October was one of the most brutal chapters of Sudan's nearly 3-year civil war. Last week, UN fact-finding mission concluded that the violent takeover bore and bore marks of genocide. On that notice, I would like to go home this morning on this edition of the program King's News, run a 45 minutes news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and the rest afterward. But just before we go home this morning, let's remind you of stories we've been following. Over 12,000 students graduated from the University of Liberia. 105th graduation on Wednesday. UL President Dr. Lady Mapayan urges graduates to use knowledge acquired to impact national development drive. Former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf calls for the incorporation of anti-corruption education into primary and secondary school curricula to promote public awareness and strengthen national efforts in combating corruption. The Congress for Democratic Change National Executive Committee suspends United States branch interim leadership for gross insubordination, violation of party protocols, and detrimental actions, says an parallel convention in Minnesota will be rendered illegal. Away from Liberia, Zimbabwe has rejected U.S. health deal that will have provided $367 million in funding over 5 years because of Washington demand for sensitive data. The UN Security Council has announced new sanctions for 4 leaders of Sudan's paramilitary rapid support forces over atrocities committed in the western city of El Fasher. Those were stories we follow here on King's Newsroom. Better still join us this afternoon at 1 o'clock. I wish that we will be here with another splendid edition of the program King's Newsroom. I would like to say many thanks to all of our reporters, correspondents, news editors who helped in making this package of sources. My name is Newton Tukpa. Thanks for listening and watching. Good morning.